Okay, we have Northwestern student athletes up on the podium. We have junior guard Brooks Barnhizer. We have grad guard Buie. Gentlemen, as the Northwestern men's basketball SID from 2000 to 2005, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the podium and to Brooklyn for the NCAA tournament. We'll take questions for either of the student athletes at this time. We have 15 minutes. A reminder, the locker room is also open during this 30-minute window. So if you need to get them afterward, we can get them there. But if you have questions at this time, just raise your hand. We'll get a microphone over. We'll start here in the front row.
Annie Costable from the Chicago Sun-Times. Hi, guys. Boo, obviously this being your 5th year, you're aware of, no more eligibility left. This is the end. But with the tournament here, win or go home, is there an added layer of knowing and acknowledgement that this really is the end, and you've got to do something to put it off?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's both. A lot of excitement and just. I think it's just we just got to be ourselves coming out here and playing. But once you get to the tournament, it is win or go home, like you said. I like to just think of it as a new season, a complete new season. And I try not to really think about the fact that I won't be able to play next year, or else I'll get too sad. But I just try to stay focused on the present each day, and just give the team my best every single day. And that's what I'm gonna do in this next game.
We'll stay on that side on the aisle. Dave Ennett.
Hey guys, Dave Ennett, WGN Chicago. I'd like to ask you both how much the experience from last year in the tournament, playing those 2 games, helps you coming into this. But I'll start with you, especially going against a team that has so much tournament experience from a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, just being here last year and, throughout the past 2 seasons, we've been fortunate enough to win a lot of games and being, close, tough games, and, just figuring out how to win those close games. And I think that we have a lot of older guys and, some guys that have, tournament experience. And I think it's just going to be our job to come out and, lead the younger guys and let them know, like, hey, what to expect and, how things are going to go. But the biggest thing is, just playing as hard as you possibly can and, being really locked into the scout and the preparation.
Yeah, I definitely think it helps, especially just because we saw, what was a recipe for success last year, especially in the first round, coming off a loss in the Big Ten tournament, which we are, this year as well. So it's definitely, we know what we have to do. And we know where our recipe is made and where our bread is buttered, so we just got to stick to our principles, and that's what we did last year and hope to do this year.
We'll stay on the aisle on the other side in the last row. Go ahead.
Thank you. I know you guys have had a couple days or 3 or 4 days to get ready for FAU. When you're facing a team deep with talent like this, who have the experience, who are a Final Four team last year, what do you guys think it's going to take to make sure you're thorough and are able to move on to the next round?
Let's start with Brooks, and then we'll go to Boo.
Yeah, like you said, Final Four team from last year, greatly coached team, has a lot of talent. It's really kind of what I hit on earlier, just kind of trying to stick to our principles, because we don't want to change based on our opponent, just because they're so talented, and if you kind of get off your game plan a little bit, trying to adjust too much, it might mess up your identity a little bit. So it's really just trying to take away what they want to do, and that's what these 4 days of scouting is super important for. And, you kind of get some rest, but you really got to dive into scouting and, just kind of tendencies and stuff like that. So all those little things that Boo was talking about first is going to be super important. And, hopefully that we get enough right to go out there Friday and, compete and hopefully end up on top.
Yeah, I mean, Brooks said it very well. I mean, the only thing I would add is just, when you get to this time of the year, record, seeds, what you did last year, none of that really matters. Only thing that matters is whoever comes out and is ready to play when the ball is tipped. So, that's going to be our job as leaders to, have our team ready to go when that ball is tipped.
We're going to go right in front of me in row 2. Go ahead. Raise your hand just so they can see you. Go ahead.
Eric Jackson here with Sportico. First of all, congrats, guys, on making it to this level. There's been a lot of headlines out of Dartmouth over the last few weeks. I'm curious for you all, how much have you been just following that case, and have you ever considered forming a union yourself?
We'll start with Boo, I guess, and then we'll go to Brooks.
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, I was just mentioning over the last few weeks, there's been a lot of headlines out of Dartmouth College as they form a union there. I was just curious, how much have you guys been following that just saga there, and have you have you considered forming a union yourself?
You can answer that.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know too much about it, I would say. But yeah, I don't think I've given it any thought, so maybe I'd have to look at it a little more. But yeah, I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We'll move up one row. If you can just hand the microphone right here in the front. Go ahead.
Hi, Perry Keatai, WNUR Sports. This is a question for Brooks. This year, you're playing a little bit of a different role on the team than you did last year, in more of a leadership position. Do you feel added responsibility on your shoulders this year versus last year? And do you feel differently coming into the tournament this year versus last year as well?
Yeah, I definitely feel a little, added, but in a good way. I don't think it's really too much pressure because I think, if you dream of playing, at the college level, you kind of, you hope to be a leader at some point. So definitely, it's definitely added, but it's a good added. It's almost a blessing just to come out and be a leader. And yeah, I definitely feel, a little more confident coming into the tournament. Last year was really kind of like my freshman year. So, just coming back with that experience from last year's tournament and just, kind of, our journey that we've been on this year, I definitely have a little added confidence, but it's kind of been a blessing to be a leader for this team.
All right, we'll go back to the middle to Mr. Ennett.
Brooks, can you explain a little bit about the relationship your family has with Coach May from FAU and what wrinkles that may add to this matchup?
Yeah, so, our family's super close with Coach Dusty May. He was really kind of like my dad's first son. He played for my dad in high school at Eastern Green earlier in my dad's coaching career. But the one story that I kind of had, just to kind of sum it all up, was my dad would pick up Coach May every morning, and they would go to the gym at like 6 a.m., and that was just kind of where their bond was kind of formed. And, it's a bond that's lasts, a lifetime. So it's definitely going to be a kind of a full circle experience for my family. But, at the end of the day, we still got to come out and, it's all like, it's a great experience. But as soon as the ball tipped, our loyalties are to our both teams. And, we got to go out and win the game. But it's definitely a really cool moment for, both families.
Do we have any more questions for the student athletes? We'll come back here in the front.
For Brooks, just curious, the load that Bue's carried all these years, is there any, messaging going on between the rest of you that, like, you guys want to get this done for this guy in his last year?
Yeah, 100%. A lot of times, the weight that Bue carries is, unmatched. I feel like just, but not only like on the court, but, as a leader off the court, just keeping confidence in guys that, haven't been playing a lot this year. Just for that, we always come together and are just trying to say, like, we got to go out there and, let him go out with a bang because, we feel like, he's the best point guard in the country. A lot of other people may have their own, opinions, and, I might be a little biased, but as our team, like, there's no other way that, we want to honor him by going out and, making a run right now.
Do take next two over here. We'll start in row one and then go back to row two.
Iggy Dowling, Inside and You. You guys have Bryant McIntosh as a coach. Obviously, he made the tournament in 2016-17, couldn't get it done in 2017-18. What has he learned from that, and what has he taught you this season just getting this done, given you guys are the first team to make it twice in Northwestern history?
We'll start with Bue. Yeah, go with Bue. Sorry.
Yeah, so I would just say, I think that BMAC does a really good job of, just making sure that we're always ready to play. He does a great job of, whenever he sees something or feels that he can help, he's going to stop it. He's going to stop practice. He's going to let you know, like, hey, do this or do that. I'm not sure exactly how his tournament run or what he reflects from his run compared to, the last two seasons. I mean, I know that he's super excited and happy for us. But I should ask him that question because I don't know how he compares them. But I know he's been super proud of us, and he's been a great mentor and a great leader for our program these last couple years.
And Brooks?
Yeah, I think Coach BMAC, he's also from Indiana, kind of like me. So we definitely had a lot of just like he was someone I could kind of like relay to or just go to. Times being a young player, and I've just learned so much from him. And even this year, just like him, like kind of helping me now that I've kind of stepped into a role where, I'm asked to do a little more. He's been, super helpful just over these last few years, just, kind of relaying that knowledge from being a tournament guy, being an all-league guy to, me and Boo. So it's been great.
Stay on this side in front of me in row 2.
Hey guys, obviously the tournament's a really big deal, especially for the stakeholders involved. Curious for you guys, as the conversation of revenue sharing keeps escalating, do you believe you and your teammates should be paid to be on the television broadcast?
You guys want to answer that question or no?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I won't be here for that, so me personally, I don't really mind. I mean, I hope that these guys eventually, they figure a system out where, the athletes are getting everything they deserve. But NIL is a good start.
Yeah, no, I feel like just for me personally, like I just love the game, and just to play in the NCAA tournament is enough pay for me, because this is like a dream come true for me. But I don't really know like anything about like the revenue or anything, but like I just love ball, so this is enough for me.
We'll go one row back, and then we'll come back up to front for last question.
Jamal Murphy, Bill Roden on Sports. Kind of piggybacking off the same question. There's been a lot of talk about the NIL and the portal and it going crazy from coaches. But as players, what do you feel about it? Do you think it needs to be tamed, reeled in? What do you think?
I mean, personally, I think that it's right. I'm not saying every situation is right. I'm not sure what's going on. I feel like coaches have a better knowledge of that. Us players, we kind of are a little bit more behind the scenes with stuff like that. But, I think it's definitely, NIL is definitely a great opportunity, for student athletes, especially at big time places, doing big time things for that program, generating a lot of wealth and recognition. But, definitely if there's, mishaps or, things not going for the good, then, you don't want that. But I think NIL has been a good thing, for me, my teammates and I. We've been able to give back to the community. It's been a really fun process for us. Just seeing the kids we get to work with, the opportunities we get to go out in the community and just spread our name. It's been really fun. Just having that, it's bigger than money. It's more so just seeing those kids' reactions, because it's all about the future. That's who's going to be here after us anyway.
Take last question up here in the front row.
This one's for both of you about the game specifically tomorrow. John L. Davis and Elijah Martin in particular like to move very quickly in transition, and you two are usually the two best defenders on the floor at any time for the Cats. What are some keys you have for controlling the pace in that transition and trying to force some turnovers along the way?
Well, we start with Brooks, and then we'll go to Boo.
Yeah, like you said, they're a really great transition team. I think they average like 82 points a game, so they score a lot. It's really just trying to get back and get our defense set. And some keys to that is, not having live ball turnovers, taking good shots, valuing our possession. I feel like if we do those three things, it'll definitely, help a little bit. So, yeah, I think those are three really big keys that, hopefully help us in terms of kind of taming their transition.
Boo?
I mean, Brooks answered that perfectly, same way I would, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, fellas.
Yeah, thanks, yeah.
All right, thanks, guys.
Reminder, the Northwestern locker room is open for another 15 minutes. We'll have Coach Collins up here in just a second.